Hello, beautiful sisters. I realize I'm a little later than I have been, but I'm glad to see you all. Hopefully some people will come on. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about vulnerability. I know we spoke about that. I posted something earlier today, this morning, about that. And I wanted to talk about what is vulnerability and how that denotes courage and strength. I know often when we are in toxic relationships, unhealthy relationships, we start to hide away those tender parts of ourselves because we are guarded, and we feel like we need to, in order to create self-preservation, we take those tender parts of ourselves and we hide them away deep inside of us, and we lose the ability for a time to be vulnerable. Because we're trying to protect ourselves, and we don't, and that comes in all different ways. Hi, Kelly Sue. If you have any questions, just let me know, okay? I'm talking about vulnerability and how when we're in difficult relationships, we can, sorry, that's my daughter. That's okay. A lot of times when we're in challenging toxic relationships, unhealthy relationships, we take those vulnerable parts of ourselves and we hide them away. We don't feel safe to express ourselves, and that can take the form of not wanting anyone to see us cry, or not wanting to admit that we don't know how to do something. It can take the form of asking for help. We start to keep all that stuff to ourselves. And when we don't do that, we stop growing. When we're not willing to be vulnerable, we're not allowing those opportunities to flow in and out of our lives. We are not learning very much anymore because we're afraid to ask for help. We don't get the support we need because we're afraid to admit that we need help. And that goes along with shame as well. When we feel ashamed of our situation, we don't want to ask for help because we are afraid somebody's going to think less of us, or somebody's going to know our situation. A lot of times when we're in toxic, difficult relationships, we don't want other people to realize what we're living in because we're afraid they'll judge us for staying in it. We're afraid they'll judge us because we think that it denotes some inability in us, or some damaged part of us. But in order to grow, and in order to expand, and in order to feel alive, we need to be able to take things in and let things out. And when we can become vulnerable and show the parts of ourselves that, hey, I don't know how to do this. Could you show me? Or I'm feeling really alone. Or, I just need to cry. Those type of things, that takes a lot of strength and a lot of courage. Today I went climbing with my oldest daughter, and I was thinking about us. I was letting her know about the first time that I climbed there, and I remember feeling afraid because I wasn't very good, and I felt like other people were going to judge me. And it was like I can look back on that and see this conversation that was going on in my head. It was like, okay, either I can choose to be who I am authentically and be a beginner, and be willing to be a beginner, and not need to get everybody's attention, because really nobody was really paying attention to what I was doing, but there was this self-consciousness. Or I could not do it, you know? Like, if that vulnerability piece came in, like, okay, I'm going to be vulnerable enough to be like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to do it anyway. Even if I make a fool of myself, it's okay, because everybody had to have a first time, right? And by showing up in that way and being willing to say, I don't know how to do this, but I'm going to try, and being willing to make mistakes, and being willing to say, hey, how did you get up that wall? You know, and watching other people and being willing to take feedback, and letting people know, hey, I'm trying to figure out how to get these handholds, but that place right there is tricky. And then getting them to say, oh yeah, well, I do this, you know, I have to leap for it a little bit or whatever. By me becoming vulnerable, I was able to take in information. I was able to try new things. I continue to be able to try new things and to get new information and to ask for help when I need it. And that takes strength and courage. And not only does it take strength and courage, but it builds my strength and courage, because when I'm able to step out and be vulnerable, like I've been doing, for example, again with climbing, every time I climb, my body gets stronger. I was climbing today, and my arms, like afterwards, I was like, oh, my arms hurt. But I know they're getting stronger, you know, and every time we step out and do something we're not maybe comfortable with at first, because we feel like we're beginners, or we don't know, or we're afraid to show our vulnerability, or our the parts of us that are tender. It gives us the opportunity to get stronger in doing that, and it gives us the courage. You know, once we do something, we feel more confident about doing it next time. So it takes courage, and then once we get that, you know, take that leap with that courage, then we can muster even more courage to take bigger steps. So that vulnerability is such a beautiful piece, and I understand how it can be difficult sometimes. And I also want to speak to the fact that it connects us to our sacredness. Something sacred is something set aside. It's something it's connected to something holy. It's something that is often put away or hidden, right? Or kept for certain things. It's devoted to the divine, or to certain situations. So a lot of times when we hide that vulnerability, we're really protecting that sacred part of ourselves, that part that's tender, and we don't want it to get damaged. And in toxic relationships and difficult relationships, we take that piece and we put it away, because we understand how sacred it is and how precious it is. It's our heart, it's our soul, and we know that it should be revered, and we don't want it to be damaged. But we don't lose it. It's there. And through taking steps and pushing ourselves out of our comfort zones and connecting with our higher power, and being willing to be vulnerable, we get stronger, and we get more empowered, and we raise our vibration. And I want to see all of you meet me in that place where we are empowered women making amazing changes in this world. It is my goal to support and guide as many women as possible in embracing their power, in embracing their sacred wild self, so that they may rise into the highest being that they are. Pull that out from within you, that depth. Show your vulnerability, show that beauty, share it with the world. We need it. So I feel like there's a lot of great conversation going on in here. I'm really grateful for that. I feel like we're sharing a lot of beautiful things, books and ideas and situations, and it's so beautiful to see that vulnerability start to appear in this group. And if you want to explore that more, I have a 12-week program that guides you, and it weaves in a lot of these ideas, and it gives activities, and there is personal coaching. I would love to tell you more about it if you're truly interested in becoming radically honest with yourself and taking full responsibility for your empowerment, and you're ready to rise and shine and grow beyond your wildest imagination. I want to support you. So please, if you're interested, private message me. I know some of you have private messaged me already, and I'm so blessed to have gotten the chance to connect with you in that way. I look forward to talking to more of you, and to really seeing us rise and shine and becoming a power in this world, raising our sacred wild selves and really shifting the planet, bringing our greatest gifts to the world. So anyway, I'm really excited, and I hope that you are too, and I hope that you contact me soon. All right, have a good night. If you have any questions, please, please, please post them below, private message me, whatever. If you have any thoughts on this, comment below. Yeah, I'm glad you're here. Blessings, sisters. Good night.